Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to your daily recap of all the current events and headlines making their way in their country. My name is Aurelia Samuyenga, and this is NMH at 1. We start off today's show with some breaking news as the Namibia Statistic Agency gears up for the national census coming up in August this year. In preparation of one of the most significant national endeavors of 2022, the Namibia Statistic Agency, or the NSA, shared updated information with media establishments in Windhoek this morning. Statistician General Alex Shimafeni elaborated on the importance of the national census done every 10 years, but which was delayed last year due to COVID-19 as well as budget constraints. For a period of 2 weeks in August, 11,500 enumerators will visit every dwelling in Namibia to collect information in an operational budgeted to cost 606 million Namibian dollars. However, with government allocating only 500 million Namibian dollars and 40 million Namibian dollars already pledged, the NSA still faces a 66 million Namibian dollar shortfall to overcome. The following video was submitted by Ogeto Greg.
Enumerators or field workers will visit each and every household in Namibia during a 2-week period in order to count and collect demographic and social statistics information. All our field enumerators or field staff, as well as the census personnel, including the NSA permanent staff, and including myself, by the time when you are employed, you are required to sign an oath of secrecy. That if I have information about the person, I cannot divulge information under no circumstances. I cannot even divulge whether to a close relative or to anybody. The information collected is anonymized, meaning that you need to make it unidentifiable by looking at it. It shouldn't be seen that if you have information that is there, that information belongs to somebody. And meaning that you need to take out information, whether if you have information like ID numbers, which can link to somebody, you need to take them out. So we anonymize the information and process the information in order to be in line with the provisions of the Statistics Act in terms of adhering to confidentiality. The original census budget estimates for the complete phase, which spans from 2017 to 2025, was originally estimated to be in the region of 1.1 billion. In line with the government budget processes, the census budget has been revised during the medium-term expenditure framework. For the financial year of 2022-2023, the one that we are going to enter now from the 1st of April, the main enumeration was initially estimated to cost NSA an amount of 950 million Namibian dollars, where over 11,500 staff will be recruited. More than 2,400 vehicles supposed to be hired, or we need to rent vehicles, and 11,500 tablets to be purchased for the use of data collection during the census. Okay, thanks. Now, what I have here, while the colleagues are still thinking of questions, is the devices that we are talking about, the tablets. I thought I just needed to show this because people are talking about tables and saying, they said to me that ETC can produce those. Why do we have to bring them in from Kenya? And apparently it looked like we wanted to soften it by saying, we are going to pay for the transport, we are going to pay for the insurance and those. But these are the devices that we are talking about. So if we can get them, it will be good.
As per usual, here at NMH at 1, we bring you a number of video news clips from across the country. We start off with the Neckartal Dam in the south of the country, which is filled to capacity and spilling over. Monique Adams, our correspondent in the south, was there yesterday, where she spoke to Nilo Kauri, who is an engineer from the Directorate of Water Supply.
Good afternoon. My name is Nilo Kawari. I'm an engineer from the Ministry of Agriculture, the Directorate of Water Supply and Sanitation Coordination. We are at the Negertar Dam that is currently overflowing. The percentage for today is at around 103%. So the dam started overflowing from yesterday, from around 11:30. That's when it started spilling over. Yeah, so currently the dam is still under the ownership of the Ministry of Agriculture. So the plans are underway to hand it over to NMH, but then the operation and maintenance is already been carried out by both NMH and the Ministry.
The principal of John Awase Primary School in the heart of the DRC informal settlement of Swakopmund talks about the social issues amongst the learners of the school, which include the abuse of alcohol and other substances. Our reporter Leandra Lowe was there and she spoke to the principal, Shea Shimanya.
The social problem or issue that we have identified here, given the locality of our school is a lot of substance or let me say drug abuse.
True, primary school learners.
At our level already, primary schools, we are picking up these cases, and they are so much that they even affect teaching and learning. So we have cases of learners smoking these substances. We have cases of learners carrying this in their school bags. We are getting reports of learners using or abusing these substances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's number one. The other problem is sort of lack of parental involvement, attributed by the fact that most of the parents they live in informal settlements, and very often you see that learners are not well taken care of in terms of getting something to eat. They come to school on open tummies, and then you will see that there is no cleanliness taking place. Yeah, they are often sleeping, and you see that you have reports, no, I'm not feeling well, and if you ask where the thing is paining you, for example, no, I have a headache, but if you make follow-ups, it will eventually take you to hunger.
Yes.
So hunger is one of them, substance abuse is one of them, and other problems are, using abusive language. Too much learners are swearing.
Yes.
They don't know which language is appropriate or to use where. They are fighting, and all they are also now. We are also getting reports of sexual relationships.
Sure.
At this very
Primary school level.
yeah,
Sure.
at this very age.
Closing off the video segments for today, we head over to the Popular Democratic Movement's Youth League, who elaborates on the changes of that the party will undergo before the National Congress takes place. Speaking at the conference, Secretary General Manuel Naringombe shares more. Janet Diergat submitted this clip.
Now I'll start. Members will meet here, the top 6 of the Popular Democratic Movement. PDM held a meeting on Monday, 24 January 2022 at the PDM head office in Windhoek with the management committee of the PDM Youth League, as well as other various members of the PDM Youth League. The meeting was sanctioned by the events that transpired during the PDM Youth League Elective Congress on the 10th December 2021, which eventually led to the Congress not commencing and subsequently not reaching its logical conclusion due to uncredited delegates present at the Congress and other irregularities that were happening at the Congress. As the PDM prepares its roadmap and program of action towards 2024 presidential and national assembly elections, it is of paramount importance that all the structures of the movement are intact and functional. We have relieved Master Benson Kachiriowa and Ms. Felicia Mutinga from the PDM Youth League Management Committee with immediate effect. The top six resolved to relieve the current Secretary General of the PDM Youth League, Master Benson, and the current Vice Chairperson of PDM Youth League, Ms. Felicia Mutinga, from their positions with immediate effect. The top six took this decision taking into cognizance that both Master Kachiriowa and Ms. Mutinga are above the age of 55, and it was also one thing that was contested at that Congress, although they were about to relieve their positions. Further, it was important to relieve Master Kachiriowa and Ms. Mutinga from their positions in the PDM Youth League Management Committee in order to allow them to effectively and efficiently exercise their duties in the National Executive Committee of the mother body, where they serve as the Secretary for Organization and Mobilization for Master Kachiriowa and the Secretary of Gender Equality and Female Empowerment for Ms. Mutinga.
Let's have a look at the stories making headlines in today's national papers. The lead story of the Namibian revolves around the government's renewed effort to establish a national lottery to generate funds for various school welfare programs. The Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Phamba Shifeta, told the newspaper that all lotteries already in operation will be regulated and given time to register. According to the law, proceeds from the National Lottery would be to channel to various government activities, including funding educational and sports institutions. New Era reports that Windhoek's population of homeless people currently stand at an estimated 900 people. The newspaper visited those living at Khomasdal Stadium to see how they are coping with the challenges brought about by the rainy season. A psychosocial support team under a COVID-19 task force is currently looking into the plight of those without shelter in the capital city. We move on to Allgemeine Zeitung, which presents the finding of two Danish researchers. The idea of legalizing the trade in rhino horn would limit the current extent of black market activities. After including 345 users of rhino horn in Vietnam as part of their research, they have concluded that a legalized trade could be a step forward. The trade in rhino horn on the black market has been extremely lucrative, but has had a devastating effect on rhino populations in Asia and in Africa. Namibian Sun paints a picture of the dire financial situation of green screen operator Agribusdev, an entity that has been bleeding money and reported losses of tens of millions of dollars in recent years. Agribusdev has now had to vacate its rented headquarters in Windhoek's northern industrial area, and employees are squatting in offices at the headquarters of the Agriculture Ministry. The company's spectacular failure has wreaked a lot of damage, particularly on the government's long-term dream to ensure that Namibia attains sustainable food security levels. Republican examines the news of the legal dispute in which Lady Pohamba Private Hospital is taking the city of Windhoek, the Environmental Commissioner, as well as the Attorney General to court. The private hospital has submitted a court application for the City of Windhoek's decision of November 2020 to be overturned, which denies the hospital permission to manage, sterilize, or destroy medical waste on its property. Lady Phamba Private Hospital had installed a management system for medical waste in July of 2020 and has been following internal protocol in accordance with municipal regulations, according to General Manager Haneli Botha. And now for some of the newsworthy items from the inside pages of today's newspapers. According to the Namibian, the Africa Union and the Southern African Development Community, or SADC, will be approached in a bid to have an impartial inquest into the killing of 4 men along the Chobe River by the Botswana Defence Force. Both the Namibian Lives Matter movement and the Namibian government have engaged lawyers to study the inquest ruling into the killings of 3 Nchindo brothers and their cousin in November 2020. The national chairperson of Namibian Lives Matter, Simvula Mbundabeti, said last week's verdict by a Botswana magistrate that the BDS soldier had no intent to kill is considered highly biased and a miscarriage of justice. New Era has the announcement of the appointment of Titus Ndove as the new executive director of the Ministry of Finance. Ndove replaces his long-serving predecessor, Eric Shafuda, who retired last year after serving at Treasury for 22 years. According to an internal ministerial memo, Ndove was appointed by the Office of the Prime Minister and will commence his duties on the 1st of February. The city of Windhoek has been making progress in laying out cycling lanes in the capital in conjunction with the German Agency for International Cooperation, GIZ Namibia. Allgemeine Zeitung reports that the construction began last August at Shanghai Street in Kommersdal, runs across Andrew Klopper Street at the Kommersdal campus of UNAM, and ends in Bram Street at the Nast Hotel School. The municipality hopes to complete the project in the next 2 months. Namibian Sun reports that the closed border post between Namibia and Angola since 2020 due to COVID-19 has resulted in reduced trade and significant hardship in both countries. The two governments have agreed to reopen the common border from the beginning of next month. Statistics for 2020 show that Angola was one of Namibia's top 10 tourist markets, with more than 27,000 Angolans visiting Namibia that year. And finally, Republican reports on a mother of 3 from Marienthal who will spend 2 years in prison after being convicted of fraud. The 49-year-old Madeleine Christen, a former accountant, pleaded guilty on all charges. Magistrate Frans Anderson said Christen's personal circumstances are overshadowed by the seriousness of the crimes she committed and the public interests. And that is it for your Wednesday edition of NMH at 1. Please stay safe and have a blessed day. I will see you again tomorrow at the same time, forever at the same place. Until then, here's your weather update.